Ęgbę, and welcome to another episode of Talking Ifá with me, Babaláwo Sàlàkọ. In today's episode, I want to answer the question, can an Òrìṣà priest really scam you? By Òrìṣà priest, I'm including all Òrìṣà priests, Òrìșà, Babaláwo, Shun, Ògún, etc. Also priests of Ifá Romula, Babaláwo, and Ifás included. Can an Òrìṣà priest really scam you? Question number one. Question number two. If that is the case, how do you protect yourself? I want to answer both of those questions today. I want to give you tips on how to protect yourself in this religion. But before I get started, please like, share, and subscribe so that we can continue to grow and continue to help as many people as possible. Also, in the comments, please let me know where you're watching from, which city, state, or country. Also, feel free to give me any suggestions on any topics that you may want me to cover in the future. With that being said, let's talk. Greetings. I'm Babaláwo Sàlàkọ. I was initiated as a priest of Ifá and Ọbàtálá in Nigeria in 2006. And I've been practicing the Ifá Òrìșà religion for over 30 years now. My mission is simple, to help those who are new to the religion or lost in the religion. So if that's you, then buckle up and join me. This is Talking Ifá. So, before I get started on the other parts, let's first start out with the section that I want to call false flags. Okay, false flags. Before I tell you what an actual scam is or examples of scams, let's talk about what are not scams and false flags. So one of the first I would say is confusion or misunderstanding about the divination process in general. It's your first divination. You haven't asked enough questions, you schedule it with the diviner, and you come in with whatever you know at that point. So let's say, for example, that you've had tarot card readings before. So now you're going to your first Òrìṣà or say Ifá divination. I'll focus on Ifá divination. And in your mind, when you've had a reading before, it was tarot cards. So what do you do with tarot cards? You go in, you sit down, they do the cards, and then they tell you what energy they see floating around you and all that stuff, and you talk to them, you thank them, you pay them, and you get up and leave. So if you don't know how Ifá divination, for instance, or any Òrìṣà divination works, it's not the same as tarot cards. The focus is not the same. It's a spiritual diagnosis. So in Ifá divination, you have to ask questions and know that when you come, they mark the Odu, they're going to give messages, but they also have to give offerings. Ęgbę is required with the divination part as part of the process. So then they're going to prescribe the offerings and to who wants the offerings, which entities, which Òrìṣà, ancestors, Ęgbę, etc. Then that's going to be prescribed for you to do, right? Now, so the other part is to know that there are normally, I know of 2 different methods that diviners normally use. The standard way, for instance, for an Ifá divination, is to charge you a fee for the first part, the divination where you come and sit, the Odu is revealed, etc. And then when they mark the Ęgbę, then there's another price for the Ęgbę, and then they determine depending on what the Ęgbę is, because they don't know what the Ęgbę is going to be in advance. They know during the divination, they find out what is the Odu, which entities want to help you, what do they want in exchange for helping you, and then they have charges for that, and they say, okay, Now there's this second charge for you to do the Ęgbę. Now, if you don't know that up front, then you're going to think, well, wait a minute, they told me it's $50 for my divination or $100 or whatever. Now, after I sit there, now they want to say I owe them another $300 or $500, just for example. And you may think they're scamming you. No, that's just standard practice of one way of doing it. Another way of doing it, some diviners will just come up with a flat rate up front that includes the actual divination and the Ęgbę. So they may say, okay, I charge a flat rate of $300 or $500, etc. And that includes the divination and the Ęgbę. Okay. Neither way is right or wrong. They're just two different ways of doing it. But what you need to do is to ask a lot of questions, get clarity up front when you go to get a divination, what to expect, how they're going to do their divination. Okay. And then in doing that, another thing that could cause problems, false flags, are when you go in the door expecting to be scammed, right? So you're almost paranoid looking for any little thing the person does, and you immediately say, oh, they're scamming me, they're scamming me, they're scamming me. And a lot of times, if you don't fully understand, especially if it's your first divination, how are you going to know that what they're doing isn't standard practice and that you're getting scammed, right? You just immediately think, well, wait a minute, they told me it was this price. Now they're adding on, so they must be scamming me. No, that's just that you have a misunderstanding of the divination process, okay? Now, another thing, are unreasonable expectations, okay? So, say you go into a divination and you expect magic to happen. You go in and say, oh, wow, I'm going to get this divination and all of my sickness and stuff is going to be magically cured overnight right away. Or I want to be wealthy. I'm going to go get this divination and I'm going to be rich overnight when I do this. Or, I want this person in a relationship. I'm going to get them right away. This is not magic, okay? What my Luo, the Òrìșà Ęgbę Wande Abimbola, often says is that Ifá is not magic, although it sometimes acts like magic. There are sometimes things magically happen when you work with Ifá or any of this Òrìṣà religion or spiritual technology. That does happen, but this is not magic. You can't expect illness or ailment that you've had for years to go get a divination and it's cured overnight, right? Am I telling you that those things are impossible, that there are some stories of people saying they went and got work done and things miraculously happen overnight? That happens occasionally, but you can't go in expecting that. That's not something that's always going to happen. It's normally going to be a long process of continued work, spiritual work, to make things happen. Okay? So, one of the last ones for false flags, and it's a tough one, is the perception that you're being overcharged. That's tricky because charges are based on a lot of different things. Where you're at. So say, for instance, a person is in Nigeria and they don't have the same cost of living as someone in the diaspora, like say here where I'm at in the United States. So the charges just from that alone are going to be different because a person is trying to work for you. A priest wants to be available for you to do the spiritual work for you. Then they have life and living expenses that have to be covered. So they have rent or mortgage or car notes and food and utilities, etc. They have monthly expenses. and they want to take their time away from making money to pay for those expenses to be available for clients, to be available to help clients, right? So they have to charge for their work and their time accordingly for it to be worth their while to be able to do it. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gouging you. Some may be more expensive than others, right? But you have the options of who you go to. Some people who may have many more years of experience, much more ashe, spiritual power to be able to make things happen, well, those people may charge a lot more. So if you want, like they say, sometimes you get what you pay for. If you want somebody that's at the top of the game, then you may pay a lot more than somebody that's newer with not as much experience, okay? But just because somebody over here is charging more doesn't mean they're scamming you. But that also doesn't mean that there aren't lines that are crossed or thresholds where it does become where somebody's charging too much. But even with that, you have to look at it like this. Are they scamming you or are they gouging you? Because there's a difference. What do I mean by that? If a person is scamming you, think about a scammer in general. Normally that means that they promise you they're going to do something for you or provide a service or a product for you, and then they don't do it. They take your money and they don't provide the product or service that they promise. They're stealing from you. They're scamming you. But let's say that they did provide the product or service, legitimately provided it to you, but they just charged you a much higher price than you feel like that you should have paid. Is that scamming you? If they provided the service that they promised? Or is that just gouging you and just overcharging you out of greed or whatever reason? I would say those are different. I would say gouging you is not scamming you. Now, there's also a fine line with that also. But I would still say if somebody charged you a whole lot of money for something and they way overcharged you, but they gave you, like say for instance, you was buying a car. You wanted a particular car. Say you wanted a 2015 Camaro. You wanted it to be red, right? You wanted it to have no more than 150,000 miles on it. Somebody sells you a car that fits those criteria. They don't change the odometer and cheat you and lie to you. They sell you the car, but you may have been in a hurry to get it and didn't realize they're charging you $50,000 for that car. You could have bought it over here for $15,000. Okay. Did they scam you or did they gouge you? That's the question you have to ask. So let's go on to part 2, which is exploitation methods. What are some of the methods that true scammers use when they want to scam people? Okay. So one of them is fear, right? They use fear-based extortion. They use fear to extort something out of you. Money, could be sex or whatever. They want to extort something out of you using fear. Now, I want to be careful when I say that because we're dealing in a spiritual realm. So sometimes fear is involved. We have negative entities, negative Ajogun, etc., that want to attack us, death, illness, curse, etc. So they do exist. If Iku comes up, sometimes that comes up and it's urgent. Many times when Iku comes up, it's not urgent. But say, for instance, Ęgbę is hovering around you, and then Ęgbę wants to come at you on May 5th. Say that you waited for months until May 4th to get your divination. So if you're getting your divination on May 4th, it may come up very urgent that Ęgbę is strong and you need to do your Ęgbę right away. You shouldn't delay. You need to do it right away. That comes up sometimes. Now, is that extorting you? Is it trying to instill fear in you? No, it's just the diviner being honest with you and telling you this is what Ifá is saying, for instance, that you need to do this Ęgbę right away. You're in danger. How will you know if that diviner is telling you the truth or not, or just trying to instill fear and scam you? It's very difficult to know that. But one thing I would say is this. Let's say that the work that needed to be done right away cost $500. And they said, you need to get this work done today. Now, there's two things that could happen there. One, if it's a legitimate diviner and they're just telling you the truth and want to help you, if you say, well, look, I don't have the $500 today, then they would say, somebody who's authentic, practicing the right way, will say, okay, well, you still need to do it today, and then you can pay me the money later. Now, maybe if you have the money, do you have the money to buy the supplies? Then you could get them and I'll do the Ęgbę, and then you could pay me the rest later. But a scammer might say, no, you have to do this today and you have to pay the $500 today. If you don't pay the $500 today, then we can't do the work, right? But you are in danger if you don't do it today. So you need to get that money one way or the other. You need to go borrow it. You need to do whatever. Now, those type of people you need to be cautious of. You need to be wary of, okay? Because that's a bad sign, right? Another thing that scammers might use are distance initiations, for instance. Meaning they tell you you don't have to be in person to get initiated, or Ìṣẹ̀fà, receive your hand of Ifá. Now, that one, let me get to that one later. But getting initiated as a priest of any Òrìṣà, whether it's Orunmila, Ọ̀ṣun, Ọbàtálá, Ògún, etc. Okay? If they tell you you can do it remotely, you could be sitting at home and they'll do the spiritual work for you and then tell you you're initiated. Or if they tell you they'll send you a self-initiation kit and you can initiate yourself. These are big red flags of something that they use, right? Intimidation to scam people, because you need to be in person for an initiation. Or if someone comes to you with a get-rich-quick pitch, come and do this, get this divination, I can do this divination for you, or I do this work for you, and you'll be a millionaire by tomorrow, okay? Or if you have a sickness, come here and I promise this is going to cure you 100%, or you'll be cured for sure within the next 5 days. If people are making these kind of promises to extort money out of you quickly, then those are signs of someone trying to scam you, okay? And then the final one I will cover for today, I think, are unsolicited cold calls, okay? Unsolicited cold calls. We are not the Jehovah's Witnesses in this religion. We don't go door to door soliciting people. We don't recruit. We don't, it's actually against our tenets to proselytize, to go around trying to convert people to this Òrìṣà, Ifá religion or spiritual technology, right? People come to us wanting to join. We are not supposed to go and recruit. So if people are hitting you up in your DMs, constantly trying to say, oh, I'm sensing that you have this negative spirit on you. You need this work. I can do this work for you today for this price. I can get this done for you. I'm sensing this could be wrong with you. Or if you need this cure today, I can do this for you. Okay? That is also a red flag. Okay? That's a red flag. So, another red flag. Now, this red flag you may not see right away. If you start working with someone regularly, an aluo, a priest that you're working with, or you join an Ęgbę, this is one that you have to look out for there. And it's called secrecy and isolation. Now, you can see that up front some if you are asking the person that you wanted to schedule divination with, and you ask questions and they're not transparent. They don't want to tell you what to expect. They don't want to tell you, what they're doing or explain anything. They want to keep it secret. Okay? Then that's a red flag. The second part of that is isolation. If you get with somebody and they start telling you, okay, if you're going to work with me, you can't ever go and work with anyone else. I don't want you going to other people's events, other houses or temples events. I don't want you talking to them at all. You just stick with me. You stick with us, and you only listen to us. Don't go to the outside. That's isolation. Okay? So number one, you should always be able to ask questions in anything. Anything that doesn't let you ask questions is an issue. Does that mean you're always going to get an answer? Now, if you're not initiated and you're asking them about secrets of rituals that people that are initiated do and know, then yeah, they'll just tell you, well, that's for if you're initiated, you can't, I can't tell you that. That's not something for you to know. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not secrecy in how I'm saying it, right? But if you just ask, you want me to come do this, what is this for? Okay, well, they don't tell you, well, no, don't worry about what it's for. I'm just going to do this spiritual work for you. You pay me $500 and don't worry about what it's for. Okay? You should never hear anything like that, right? Secrecy. I went through that before with the house I was with before. We were told that. That's why many years when I was in this, when I started out in this, when there started being other houses or temples in town, I didn't get to interact with any of them, so I didn't know what they were doing compared to what we were doing, et cetera, because we were kind of forbidden from interacting with other people. That is not a good sign, right? That's something you should avoid, right? So these are some of the things that you could look for in scamming. Now, in terms of the being overcharged, like I said before, that's a tricky one because it depends. There is a threshold, but what is that? Because remember, a priest in this religion, think about a medical doctor. A medical doctor gets paid a lot of money, and they get paid a lot of money because they're risking their health daily, right? They go in, they may see 15, 20 patients coming in and out. They're going out of these rooms. When this person's scheduled an appointment to come see them, most of the time they don't know why they're coming. They don't know what ailment they may have. It may be some kind of real contagious disease. They go sit in the room. Most of the time they don't have any protection, or mask or anything. They just sit down, deal with these patients. They take that risk, right? So they say, for me to do this, take this kind of risk, I need to be paid X amount. Well, priests also are taking risks. In the spiritual realm, there's a lot of negative spirits. So when people come to a diviner to divine, many times they're coming because they have issues, they have problems in their life. Many times they're coming to find out if there's a spiritual aspect or component to their problem or a spiritual cause to it. So when they go to the diviner is trying to see, is there a spiritual cause? If there is, what is it? Because there may be some kind of negative or evil spirits that have attached to this person. And when you come and you go to a diviner, when that diviner goes through the process of cleaning that off of you and protecting you off of that spirit, it's not destroying that spirit. That spirit still exists. That spirit may come and jump on the diviner, right? Come into the diviner's household, affect the diviner's family. So the diviner is taking risk with each person they deal with. They don't know what you're bringing, what negative baggage you're bringing with you when you come to divine with someone, right? So they're taking that risk. And for them to take that risk, and then later after they do whatever you pay them and they do the work for you, they may have to then go and buy more supplies to cleanse themselves, cleanse their space, cleanse their house, protect themselves and their family. There's a lot more that goes into this. So people who are choosing to do this work, that want to be Babalawos or any other priest, we take those risks each time we deal with a person. So therefore, a person that's taking that risk says, for me to take this risk and risk my own safety and the other work I have to do to work with people, this is what I feel is a fair charge that I'm going to charge, right? And that's up to each person. It's hard to say. You can't say that's scamming you, because if they tell you up front or give you some idea, they can't always know what the elbow is going to be if they prescribe it later and charge you for it later. But they can give you a range. So a lot of times people will say, well, what is the range that you have if you don't have an exact price? Well, normally when I do divinations, they might say it comes out to between $300 and $500, or it comes out between $500 and $700. That's the average. Okay, so at least you know the average, and you may fall somewhere in there, and you know in advance that's not scamming you, right? If you go to one person and they say my average is between $200 and $400, you go to this person and they say mine is between $500 and $700. Does that mean the person that charges between $500 and $700 is scamming you? No. It just means that's their price, right? And if you want to work with them, you have to be willing to pay that price, right? Now, if they try to trick you and scam you and you ask questions and they don't want to give you answers, and then later they just pop up and say, oh, I charge $50 for the reading, the divination. Now the elbow, you owe me $1,500. You know, that's exorbitant, right? You could say, wow, I didn't expect that. That's way out of the realm that what I expected. That happens. Now, even when that happens, though, is that scamming you? Or is it just gouging you? You know, that's something you have to weigh, because that may just be if they did the work for you, or they're willing to do the work and legitimately do the work, then that may just fall into the category of gouging you, being greedy and gouging you versus scamming you. Okay. So now, the final part I wanted to cover. What are the expectations that you should have of an authentic priest? Okay. So like I said before, number one, transparency. Full transparency. They should not be hesitant or afraid to answer any questions that you may have. If you have a question about the process, what to expect, what's going on, even during the divination, if you want to stop them and say, well, what does that mean, what you just did? They could say, well, let me finish this part and then I'll explain, or let me go ahead and tell you right now. Don't be afraid, especially if it's your first divination, to ask questions. Now, I wouldn't recommend interrupting while they're in the process, but if there are pauses in between each part, if you have a question, then you can ask a question, or when they finish at the end, ask the questions at the end. Well, when you did this, what did that mean? Or what did this mean when this, that, or the other? Okay, if you have questions, ask. Ask before you start. You can ask during. You can ask afterwards. Don't be afraid to ask. If they're hesitant to answer you or speak to you, that's a red flag. Another thing is lineage accountability. What do I mean by that? Whenever you're going to work with someone and you say, well, how do I protect myself from a scammer? One of the first things you should do is ask them about their lineage, meaning who initiated you? Who was the priest, the luo, who initiated you? When did you get initiated? Where did you get initiated? Okay. Find out about their lineage. Who is your lineage? Find out, in terms of their lineage, what is their denomination? Are they practicing the traditional way, which we call today Isheshe? Are they practicing the Cuban way, Lukumi denomination? Are they practicing Brazilian way, Candomblé, or something like that? These are things you need to know also, just so you can know what to expect, especially if you're a woman, if you're a female, because there are some major differences of how things are going to work and how you're going to be treated in a Isheshe versus, say, Lukumi or Cuban, Santeria, especially when it comes around Ifa. Okay, because in Lukumi, they don't believe women should get initiated to Rumula, to Ifa. They don't even really like giving them hands of Ifa. So you need to kind of know what to expect depending on what you want to do. Now, if you're a female and you don't ever plan on wanting to get initiated to Ifa Rumula, then that may not be an issue for you, but it's just to know, just to kind of do some little bit of research and know what you're getting into. Another thing to look for and expect from an authentic diviner: do they do important work like initiations in person, or do they do them remotely? Okay, if they're doing them remotely, be cautious, because to get initiated as a priest of any Òrìṣà, you need to be in person. Now, in my lineage, we even require that you be in person to receive your hand of Ifa. Right? Now, you can receive some other Òrìṣàs, get them consecrated and brought to you, but the hand of Ifa, we believe you need to be there. Now, my Luo, Professor Ęgbę says that there are Babaláwo who do hands of Ifa remotely, but my lineage with Baba Wande, Baba Kola, we don't do it remotely. You have to be in person, because there are some parts of the ceremony that absolutely require you to be in person. You can't do it remotely. I can't tell you what those are, but there's some parts that you have to physically do, right, that we can't do remotely. So the way we do hands of Ifa, I don't know how anyone could do them remotely, but there are some people that do. Another thing would be, like I said, reasonable fees. But when I say reasonable fees, that's still a little tricky. So basically, get an idea up front about what the fees are. Okay, if they tell you up front, they're normally reasonable fees. Now, if you're going, I'd also recommend when you go for your first divination, it would be nice if you could have somebody with you. Okay, especially if you're female, if you had a male with you. That's not required, but you know, if you have somebody else there with you, it would just kind of lessen the opportunity for them to try to scam you or gouge you, right? If they have somebody sitting there, they're going to be a little more hesitant to try to just totally gouge you, right? You know, if you're by yourself, they may try to gouge you, or they may try to scam you if they're a scammer and they're not an authentic priest. So, but sometimes you can't do that, because a lot of times when people want to go to divine, you have some personal issue that you don't want other people to know about. So I'm not saying that that's always possible. If it's something that you really don't want other people to know about, then you're going to go by yourself. Okay. So finally, I would say emotional stability, meaning that they are calm, confident, they deal with you with respect, they don't cross your boundaries, you deal with them with respect, because in this tradition, respect is the utmost. It's absolutely required. We respect elders. You respect your priest, your Babaláwo, your diviner, you know, etc. It's built into the Yoruba language. It's mandatory, right? But there's a two-way street. That diviner or priest also has to show you a certain level of respect, right? They can't abuse you. They can't cross boundaries. Now, this last one, make sure you don't have children in the room, but this last one is a red flag if an authentic priest is trying to pressure you for sex, okay? That's not to say that a person who is a diviner can't have a relationship with somebody who's a client, or they can't never, you know, have sex with them or anything like that. But if they pressure you to do it, they're crossing boundaries. They should never pressure you to want to be with them. If you come to the diviner and you want to be with them and you let them know that, and if they want to be with you, you're both adults. As long as you're both adults, then, you know, people will be adults. That's not a sin, right? But if they come and use fear and coercion and tell you that Ifá says that you have to have sex with this diviner, no. That is a major red flag, right? Major red flag. They should never try to coerce you to do anything like that. Now, there is something that, before I go, that is here and it's legitimate, and it's in the Ifá verses. It comes up a lot. And that comes up a lot of times for a woman that may divine and say that you should marry a Babaláwo. Okay, you should marry a Babaláwo. There's a lot of discussion and some controversy about that, but it's there. But my interpretation, this is my interpretation, because I haven't discussed that particular topic with any of my teachers, so I don't have a formal answer to that, but I'll just give my opinion. My opinion, when that comes up, is simply a suggestion. For me, it's saying this. It's just like when it suggests that a person should receive their hand of Ifá. It's normally what accompanies that is, you need to receive your hand of Ifá for protection. The hand of Ifá can give you an extra level of spiritual protection, and it also can open up more doors for you and blessings of Ęgbę in your Ori that you have in your Ori, the good things you have in your Ori for you. Sometimes it says you should get initiated as an Ifa priest. Sometimes it comes urgently and says you should get initiated right away to save your life, because Ifa can save your life and protect you from Iku. Okay, that's legitimate. But in terms of you should marry a Babaláwo, I have not personally seen it come out of verses that you have to marry a Babaláwo right away to save your life. I don't know all of the verses. There are at least 600 to 800 per Odu or book. In each Odu, there's 256 Odu. So no one has seen all of them. And I've never seen it say that. Now, it'll say you should marry a Babaláwo. But for me, what it's really saying is you need Ifa, Orunmila, in your life for extra protection, spiritual protection, because you're a person who may be vulnerable, spiritually vulnerable. You're out here without protection. You need that extra protection. You're vulnerable from spiritual attack, right? And it would greatly enhance your life if you were married to a Babaláwo, because that Babaláwo can do divinations for you regularly for free, because that you couldn't afford if you weren't married to them. They can do the Ęgbęs and give you the extra protection, open up doors for you. But in addition, you can also receive Ifa by receiving your hand of Ifa. So if it says you need to marry a Babaláwo and you say, okay, well, I'm not in a position to marry a Babaláwo, but can I receive my hand of Ifa and I can access Orunmila directly for that level of protection? I would say if that comes up for you, then what it's saying to me, in my opinion, is that you at least need to have your hand of Ifa. And it would be nice and it would be more efficacious for you if you were close to a Babaláwo or married a Babaláwo, but it is not mandatory. I don't see it as something mandatory. And if you're with somebody and they say, oh, Ifa says you're supposed to marry Babaláwo, it said it's me, I'm the Babaláwo, you have to marry me. No, you should not have to marry anyone. You do not have to marry that Babaláwo, in my humble opinion, right? Now, if it's something you choose you want to do, okay, fine, that's something different. But it should never be something that you have to do. So in conclusion, what am I saying? Can you be scammed by an Òrìṣà priest? Yes, you can. But you need to be clear on what your definition of a scam is. You shouldn't go in paranoid looking for trouble, because you know what they say. If you go looking for trouble, then you're probably going to find trouble, at least in your perception that you found trouble, right? So you don't want to falsely accuse a good diviner, a good person that's operating in Iwapwele. They're operating the way they should, and then you're falsely accusing them of trying to scam you. That's not good at all. You do not want to do that kind of thing. It brings a lot of negativity upon that person and a lot of negativity upon yourself. You want to make sure before you accuse somebody of that. But on the other hand, can you be scammed? Yes. But I gave you some tips that you need to use to look out for it, right? Ask a lot of questions. Do research on your own research on what to expect. Do research through that person, asking them questions about them, you know, that legitimately, because there's a lot of people out here, there's some people, I should say, who say they're initiated priests and they're not initiated, right? They may say they're self-initiated, or if they can't answer those questions, then you need to be leery of them, okay? So it really boils down to just asking basic questions, accepting the answers, and moving on, because you can't always know 100%. It's like if you go buy a used car. You don't know 100% if you got a lemon up front or not. You'll find that out later, right? You just won't know for sure. And there's some things that happen that if it's your very first divination, that it's just impossible for you to know if you're being scammed or gouged. Like I go back to the story of when I went for divination about a job. I had 3 job offers, and I wanted to know which job I should get. So I said, let me go and divine. So I went for divination. But what came up in my divination was that, about my father, and this was in December, beginning of December that year, was going to have a stroke or heart attack that year, meaning that month. And I needed to do Ęgbę right away, and I did it either the same day or the next day. I had to come up with $400 or $500 and do it right away. And then a week later, my father had a stroke, but he survived miraculously, in my opinion, due to the Ęgbę and the work that we did. So if I was a brand new person, now I went for divination for somebody that this was my luo that I was already working with. But if I was a person going for my first divination, and then I sat there and said, well, I'm just here I want to know which job I should take. And then you tell me, well, wait a minute, you got a family member that's getting ready to die. You need to give me $500 a day and do this right away to save them. Would I believe them? Or would I would have thought they were scamming me? Right? I would have no way of knowing. Zero. Either I had to move forward with faith that, okay, they're not scamming me, let me do this just in case, or I didn't do it, and in that case, I may have lost my father that next week. So we won't always know if somebody's scamming us or gouging us, but I'm just trying to give you a few tips and pointers on what to look out for to try to protect yourself and be cautious. There's not 100% foolproof, but it should greatly lessen the risk that you would have of being scammed. So I hope you got something out of this today and you enjoyed this. And I thank you for your support. And again, if you have any ideas for future topics, drop them in the comments. If you want to reach out to me for any work, whether it be divinations or hands of Ifá or any work, then my contact info is in the description below every video. So I pray that everyone's Ori blesses you on a daily, your ancestors support you on a daily, and you support yourself. Ireo, Odabo.